I think my favorite song before I worked with him was Same Beef. Oh, same beef for him. So I had DM'd him in 2017, 18 when that song came out and said, I love this song, bro. That's it.
That's it.
Okay. And we're just in the pool and I just get a DM from Sidhu Moose Wala where he goes and likes the comment from 2017. This man opens my DM in 21, likes the 17 comment and goes, hey, I'm a huge fan of you.
Wow.
I can find his message. Telugu stuff, I remember I couldn't say K sound, ka. So I would like say like, Ammani, Rammani, Palichi Pommani, Tatito, Taburam Panu, Nenu Tatito, Taburam Panu. And it's like, and it's, look at this gang, look at this gang right here.
Yeah.
Gang. They're like, they look like they're listening to Emi Wave Bantai right now.
Yes.
Machayenge. That's what they're doing right
Abhi
now.
dikh jayenge. Welcome to the Bombay Journey, Raja, powered by Castrol MAGNATEC. How are you doing?
I'm excited.
Really?
You know, I love a Bombay darshan.
Kyun nahi?
This is the best weather time in Bombay.
Yes, that's true.
Like you can wear a hoodie,
Yeah, for sure.
but
for
it's
sure.
still humid. No one understands that this is a reality. Look at all the things we get. Oh.
And that.
Yeah, and that as well. Yeah. Yes. It's not Bombay if you're not like rocking.
Yeah, don't worry. The car is protected.
The car is good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So here we go. Let's do this. Okay, let's rewind back to where you started from. Svetha Yallapragada Rao becomes Raja Kumari. Kaise?
Well, because Svetha Yallapragada Rao has a 13-letter middle name. And I lived in America, so, you know, they had problem saying the SV sound.
Yeah.
And I think, like, you know, like by the time I was 14, jab main 14 years old when I was then, I had already done so much dance performances and I had like established myself. So I just thought if Svetha Rao was performing, these uncles would show up looking for Sadin Chine and Tilana. And, you know, they want me to be like Draupadi. So like, which I still am characters. I still play those characters.
Yeah,
but
they come from there?
yeah, a Raja Kumari character comes from Draupadi, Satyabhama, Mahishasura-Mardini. That's the primary influence, is Devi.
Super. Yeah.
Is like streetwear hip-hop Devi. U-turn maro.
U-turn maro, bhai.
That's what I've learned. Sida, sida. Nahi, nahi, nahi.
And bata do. और क्या क्या है?
U-turn maro or side.
Side do.
Side pe. Ruko. I don't know. How I've lived in Bombay for this many years and survived without speaking good Hindi. My Hindi is trash.
Clearly.
It's trash. But it's so funny. The funniest thing is I can read and write. Like, I will prove it.
Yeah, I know, because like I'm getting to your education, which is very, very interesting for me.
It's so bizarre. Like,
so, एक second. Let's discuss a little more of the
about my
stage.
trash Hindi.
No, stage performances. That's fun.
Okay.
Because I used to be on the stage a lot.
I could try to speak my trash Hindi, but it needs to be.
Yeah, you should try.
कोशिश कर रही.
अगले 2 मिनट तक हिंदी बात करने की कोशिश करें. हिंदी में बात करने की.
Okay.
हाँ, ठीक है.
कोशिश कर रही.
Try करूँगी.
Try करूँगी.
हाँ.
Try करूँगी.
हाँ, कीजिए.
If it's a dialogue, then I can say anything.
Yeah.
हाँ.
लेकिन आप तो स्कूल में परफॉर्मेंसेस करती थी, स्टेज फ्राइट वगैरह कुछ भी नहीं था?
नहीं. Never.
कैसे ऐसे?
I don't know. People ask me that. I think I was just literally born on stage. Like, I from 2-3 years old I was performing.
Really?
Yeah.
क्या करती थी आप?
Like this. It's something my mom taught me.
अरे वाह.
Yeah, and then I was trying to be like Sagara Sangamam, Ananda Bhairavi, Saptapadi. I wanted to be Bhanupriya.
Who didn't want to be Bhanupriya that time? Yeah.
Gallu, gallu, gallu. I don't know the words. It's really bad. I make up my own words to everything. And it never used to be a problem until I got to India and I realized, like, oh God, everyone knows.
They know these lyrics.
They actually know these lyrics.
So then how was school? Were you doing these performances and singing also? Because there's a lot of dance during the growing up years, right?
I didn't sing very much growing up.
Why to?
I would do like some stuff like in school. Like I remember one time I got like a solo and I was like, wow, I think I can sing.
क्या था ये? क्या याद है क्या?
God, was like, when the red, red robin goes bob, bob, bobbing along, along, there'll be no more sobbing when he starts something his song. I don't know. This is second grade.
Wow.
I have a weird memory for music. If I've like learned the song, it'll come out of the back of my mind. Like,
I was wondering, I was like, preparation करके आई हो क्या ये सब?
No, I remember random stuff like anytime I meet someone who speaks French. Okay? So everybody else will say like, voulez-vous coucher avec moi? That's the thing they know. I have the most obscure French memory from my childhood. Tête, épaules, genoux et pieds, j'ai un nez, deux yeux, deux oreilles et une bouche. Tête, épaules, genoux et pieds. That's all I got. Telugu stuff, I remember I couldn't say I couldn't say K sound, ka. So I would like say like ammani ramani palichi pommani tatito taburampanu nenu tatito taburampanu and it's like and it's kakito. So it's like I had some certain sounds I couldn't say.
So then there is lyrics writing that starts happening right here sometime?
Lyrics, I want to say I started writing, I mean like in school we would always write poems. I started writing poems. I would always write because school. So we wrote poems. I would write like detailed poems. I always felt like God was a poet. So I would like spend time looking out of like the window and I'd be like, oh, the wind, the leaves are dancing to the music. Like I was very like enraptured with art as a child. I think the first time I wrote a song, I actually remember it. It's really funny. Why? I'm like remembering all my things. I think it was in the 4th grade, 5th grade. And me and my friend, we wrote a song. It's like, I know that you know that we should be together, baby. That was my first pop song.
Yeah? Who did you write it for?
I don't know. I had a crush on the Indian boy in my class. Yeah. That was the first time I had a crush. I was like, oh.
यार ये बताओ फिर कैलिफोर्निया की जिंदगी कैसी है? Like what was life like over there?
You know, I feel like I almost had such an Indian life,
really?
Like growing up, because my parents, they came in the 70s.
Okay.
So they brought with them the 70s India. And they were far away from their family and they didn't have FaceTime and they had to like schedule their phone calls.
Yeah.
So I just
you had to book a
phone call.
PCO.
Yeah. And I think like my parents just held on, you know? So I always tell them that kids my age in India have done so much more than I have.
Yeah. Also because Indian kids are like that and our education system is like that.
No, you guys are just like, you modernized with India.
Yeah.
But like the diaspora is stuck in a time capsule.
Correct.
So like my kids, you know, like like when I have kids, they're gonna have a little better experience because we've like
it's more global now,
it's
right?
more global. They're gonna get the modern like understanding. Like a lot of my friends that are NRIs, I'm like, you know, you need to come to India and stay longer than 4 days. And I think when you come, don't just come with the idea to take. You know, everybody comes here to fill their suitcases with like whatever they can, so they can go home and this is what they got from India. Yeah. And I just like encourage people when they come to spend more time and to consider how they can give back.
Yeah.
Because it's like everybody's been coming here to take from India when it's the British, or now it's the NRIs too. I love NRIs. I'm an NRI, but I want people to like see that India has evolved and like, you know, there's incredible artists and designers and style, you know, so much in fashion. So I think like that's my spiel when people come from America.
No, really, very cool. यार ऐसा ट्रैफिक होता था क्या कैलिफोर्निया में?
Yes.
Really?
Yes. On the freeway.
On the freeway. मतलब ऐसा सिटी में नहीं रहेगा सब.
Sometimes. Depends. Like, I feel like West Hollywood is like Bandra West.
Yeah.
And Juhu is like Beverly Hills sometimes. And like,
that's true.
There's like areas that will get crowded in certain parts of the day. But, you know, nothing compares to India. Yeah. When I was in New York and people are like, oh, it's so crowded here. I'm like, what? What the hell are you talking about? First off, this place is clean.
Yes.
Like, but also New York tries to act like it's so holier than thou, and I'm like, you have trash, it's just in trash bags.
No, it smells like trash everywhere.
It smells like trash, but I'm saying their trash is in trash bags.
Bas khatam hota hai.
But ours is in a pile, but we have goats, and they're gonna eat it. So we have our own way of dealing with it, you know?
But don't worry about traffic here, because this car, you know, the start-stop can get really annoying. We're non-stop protected by the Castrol MAGNATEC. So we're sorted, bro. This traffic don't perturb me.
This traffic is vibes. Oh, hi.
Hey.
Hey.
So coming to that part where your parents were doctors, so you did not have the medical, like the pressure to go study medicine?
Of course.
Of course, yeah.
Oh my God, my
Indian
dad.
parents.
No, my dad's crazy. Like I was on the Billboard in Times Square, I think 2020, I think I got on that Billboard. And I went to New York, we took the pictures, and I was like, oh my God, I was on the biggest billboard in the world. He doesn't remember this, but it's like the most impactful moment for me.
Yeah.
When I finished my degree, I was studying religion.
Okay.
Which I know is not like...
I'm gonna.
You'll come back to that.
I'm very, very fascinated by that.
I studied religion, and so like the obvious next step was like a PhD.
Yeah.
So obviously, like I wanted to keep studying, but my dad was like, you don't want to spend your youth in the library. I'm like, who are you? Who says this? He doesn't remember it. So I think God stepped through him for this moment. But you know, I had skipped like kindergarten, so I was younger than everyone. So my dad was like, you know, why don't you take back that year now? So why don't you take 1 year and do music? That way you never regret because you've never done it full time.
Wow, your dad said this?
He said this.
भाई sorted है फिर तो मतलब.
But then fast forward to 8 years later, when I get the Billboard in Times Square, I come home and the first thing out of his mouth is, you know, you could still be a doctor. You can go back and you can go to medical school. They have a post-bac program. In 18 months, you can be ready to apply to medical school. I'm like, Dad. For them, I think my career makes me like unmarriageable to them. And that is like the only thing they care about.
Solid conditioning kada.
Solid conditioning.
Ab aao bhai, Raja. The story that I have waited for is the BA in religious studies.
Yeah.
How?
You know, actually I got into college as a music major.
हाँ जी.
Like I knew I liked music.
तो वो 1 साल आपने म्यूजिक पढ़ाई किया, फिर उसके बाद की बात है.
No, I got to school.
ठीक है.
And within like 3 days, I realized that they wanted me to do so much stuff for music. Like I had to be like in a jazz quartet, and I had to be part of this like choir, and it was like all this stuff. And I was just like, I don't want you to teach me music. I am a musician. And I had taken one class on Hinduism because I just liked studying it. And the teacher was a white guy named Brian. And Brian knew so much more about Vedic culture than I did.
Yeah.
And I didn't like that.
Yeah, fuck my brother.
I was like, Brian can't know more than me. He was like telling jokes in Sanskrit, and I was like, something's wrong with me. That Brian. And it was fascinating. I'm very fast. Like I'm obsessed with pre-Diluvian history. So before the flood.
क्या बात है यार ये तो.
I'm like obsessed. I think my last life incarnation was before the flood, and that's why I'm obsessed with all the underwater archaeology like Dwarka and like Atlantis, but the real Atlantis, like historical stuff. I used to study like ancient aliens.
ठीक है.
I studied all of that before that TV show. So like my professor is the Hinduism guy.
Wow.
Like he's actually my professor. So that's what I really spent my time obsessed with. That's why Raja Kumari, the character, she's an ancient princess that stepped through a stargate, carrying the
So
roots.
the seed of this does come from that time in college, right?
Yeah, that time in college. Honestly, I didn't have any Indian people around me growing up. Like I had like people from the Telugu community, but I didn't like hang out with them. And in high school, there was maybe like 5 Indians out of 3,000 people.
Of course.
And then I went to college and I was surrounded by Indians.
Yeah.
I became the president of the Indian club. I threw the culture shows, choreographed like the Hindi film dance numbers, and I had my first boyfriend, Punjabi boy.
Oh wow.
Yeah, you know, that was my first boyfriend, so it was Indian boy. And I would make that mistake over and over again throughout my life.
With Punjabi boys?
Yeah, with specifically Punjabi boys.
So we have a new segment called Protection Ke Funde, theek hai? So talking about driving in India is where we were at.
Driving in India, I drove one time. I went to Pavna Lake.
Yeah.
And I drove my own Innova. Not the whole way, just a little bit. But my thing is, I'm the driver on this side usually, right? So I can like understand how to keep the car close.
Yeah.
But being on this side, they were telling me like I was very much not in the lane.
Really?
But I didn't know that
but
lanes
like subconsciously,
matter.
like that.
I'm more worried about like, See, like, the thing about if I start driving in India, it's going to screw me up in America. Because, like, right now, right, there's these lanes. Nobody cares.
Yeah.
And this guy's coming up in the middle of this lane.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's a lot. So I'm more worried about what other people are doing.
Yeah.
I don't think I could.
Yeah, that's what you have to do. आप बहुत मेरे को किसी ने सिखाया था कि आप बहुत अच्छे ड्राइवर हो सकते हो, but ये assume करके चलो कि बाकी सब ड्राइवर.
Yeah, that's the right thing to decide. Yes.
Yeah.
Sab log.
हाँ,
Yeah, you like
ड्राइवर.
that? That was good.
Yeah.
I learned other things, but I feel like like these are the things I've learned in Bombay.
How to keep yourself as a girl protected? Like my wife was taught bad words.
Yes.
And then you deliver them on the road. Yeah.
Nobody really talks to me. I wish more people would talk to me. I feel like there's people just like see me and they just look at me and they don't say anything.
क्या बात कर रहे हो?
Nobody talks to me, I feel.
What? Why? Like how?
I don't know. Nobody approaches me when I'm out. Nobody talks to me. They're all like scared of me. I think I did too good of a job making the Mahishasura character. Because it scared everyone off. But yeah, it's okay.
When you're like an artist of that cadre now, and you have a lot of representation and a lot of Sanskrit sometimes in your lyrics, how are you protecting your lyrics or from becoming corrupt? Like you could have producers or people influencing and saying that ye kar, aise kar, and you're still like trying to put your voice through.
I think when I was a songwriter, I didn't have as much control because I was writing for other people. But when it comes to my music, I am the chief, representative of the brand Kumari. And I'm going to say what I want to say. And I think my collaborative music, I usually just keep like one or two people in the room that I trust.
Yeah.
So
the tribe is protecting you.
The tribe is protecting me. I love when this is actually clear. He's saying slow down.
The Mumbai skyline is beautiful.
It is. There's always this like moment whenever I'm going this way and I see Mumbai and I think about the fact that I really left Los Angeles and moved across the world to one of the most amazing cities. And
yes.
I love it so much and I don't think I would trade it. Like, we're getting into the 6th year that I live in Bombay.
Yeah.
Still not speaking Hindi, thank you. So that's the kind of city this is.
Yes,
that
you can survive here. Yes,
you can survive here. And if you could survive here, you can really, make it anywhere. I think Bombay has prepared me to live in New York. Like, I think I can.
Yeah, for sure.
But it means...
Like Andheri is Brooklyn Heights.
Yeah. Oh my God. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, no, I stay in Andheri East and I stayed in Brooklyn Heights.
So you know.
Legitimate the comparison.
Because I'm looking for like the Williamsburg vibe, so that I guess that would be like Bandra, right?
Bandra.
Yeah. I was a Bandra girl. I mean, that made sense for me.
Bandra is a bunch of areas, not just Williamsburg.
I was on, Turner. I was like on Perry Road.
Yeah,
on Perry Road,
perfect.
Playa.
But ये बताओ पहली बार कब आई मुंबई? 2014, 16?
Well, I actually performed in Mumbai when I was 10 years old.
Really?
Yeah.
Where was this?
On my tour. I have to check what the location was, but I remember I did a 15-city tour in 96.
क्या बात है?
96. And it was Vijayawada, Visakhapatnam, Kakinada, Guntur, Hyderabad, Bombay, Delhi, Bangalore, Jaipur.
Wow.
And there's more because I'm only at 9. But
and how many cities did you do?
It was 15.
भाई क्या गा रही थी आप?
I didn't sing, I danced. I did 2-hour kuchipudi performances.
అవునా? Ayyo,
they were like,
super,
Svetha Rao thrills the Vizagaits. And I was like, I was like trained for this. I was on the cover of newspapers when I was 10. And like, I always told my parents, I'm like, how did you think I would just switch into being a wife?
Yeah.
Like, how did you guys think that would happen? Like, you started this. My mom wanted a dancer, and then she couldn't control what it became.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect. Very cool.
Yeah.
तो यार ये जो आप यहाँ मुंबई आई, was it the doctor relation with Dr. Nene जिसकी वजह से आप माधुरी दीक्षित के घर पे रही?
No, I love that, but that's I think why they adopted me is because they were like, we cannot leave this child like alone in Bombay. She's gonna get eaten up.
So from Hyderabad to Mumbai, you land up in Madhuri Dixit. How come?
Yeah, that's kind of how it happened. I actually came in 2016.
ठीक है.
In December. Divine and I were friends on Twitter.
Okay.
And we had worked on city slums.
Yes.
Over the internet. And I did like 4 shows. I walked onto stage at NH7 and I sang City Slums with him, and nobody knew the song yet because we had just written it. And that was the first thing I sang in India, and that would end up becoming like the biggest, you know,
Yeah, it was super,
debut
super big.
record. But the song wouldn't come out until 2017 October because of politics.
Oh wow.
But we shot the video in December 2016, and then I went home. And I went home for 1 month, and I just could not stop thinking about India. I could not stop thinking about India because I was signed to a major label in the US, and they just didn't understand. They were just like, Indian girls don't make hip hop. You should sing pop music, like be like Meghan Trainor or like, you know, something more digestible. And I was just like, this is who I am. And nobody was like really giving me, it was so weird. Like I had gone back to America for that month, and I couldn't get people to work with me in the way that they normally did. Like, I don't know, something was up. I couldn't like get sessions. And I just kept thinking that in India, people were singing the lyrics to my song.
Yeah.
So nobody can tell me that people don't want to hear my music. Like people, you know, people love my music.
True.
So that love that India showed me pulled me back. And February 2017, because Trump had just been inaugurated as president, I left. I was like, I'm not living in America while this man is president. I just can't do it. I can't deal with it daily. So I moved, and I moved. In my mind, I knew I wasn't coming home. My parents thought I was just like on a trip. And I land in Bombay, and I'm staying in a hotel. Yes.
You sneaked out to India.
I snuck out. And like before, on the first trip, my parents came on the whole tour. They were at every city. They were at every show because they thought like India was dangerous. So I somehow convinced them to let me come alone.
So they're like non-stop protection. हम ही आएंगे सामने खड़े रहेंगे बच्चे के साथ.
Everywhere. They were like, if you watch the videos from my first tour, my mom is on the side of the stage videotaping, and I'm like,
That's cute.
Yeah, motherfucker, yeah, motherfucker, yeah. Yeah, motherfucker, yeah, motherfucker, what? Like, and my mom is just like, my doctor. And I'm like, yeah. This is when Madhuri comes in play. So Madhuri and I had met each other in America in 2016.
Okay.
She wanted to make an English language album.
Okay.
Which I know is like a crazy idea now, but I'm happy that she wanted to do that because that's why we had the relationship we did.
Yeah.
So I had done one song with her in America, and she just like loved me because I'm crazy and I'm her #1 fan.
So cool.
So I would be like, well, we love you, you know, the way the fans love you. I could never allow you to do this. Like, I would make sure that your stuff is the best in the world because
I love that about her. She's
I was
so
like,
cool
you
like
are
that.
my national treasure. Like, you cannot be, you know, you can't be, you must be treated properly, right? Actually, the guy that was supposed to work with her, he's like this white guy, this random guy, and he was like, I'm doing a session with Madhuri, and I'm like, Dixit? And he was like, yeah, I don't know. And I'm like, listen to me, look at me in the eyes, look at me. If you don't invite me to this session, never fucking look at me again. If you see me at a party, you look the other fucking way. I'll kill you. I must be there. Like, it was so
You
intense.
got your Liam Neeson out.
Oh my God, the way that I talked to him, like, I think back on it, I'm like, that was so intense.
Oh.
But he invited me to the session.
Nice.
And he canceled.
What?
He canceled on the Madhuri Dixit.
What a guy.
What a guy, but thank you. I was
So you stayed in Juhu?
No, first I was in Andheri, okay? So then I go to see Madhuri in 2017, and I'm like, yeah, I'm staying in Andheri. And she was like, no, you're not. She was like, you don't know. And she was like, you live here. And I was like, I live here. And then that was it, like 4 months.
You lived in the
I
Madhuri
lived with
section?
Madhuri in Juhu for 4 months, yeah.
Wow.
This is my favorite spot right here.
Yeah, this is it.
It's like, did you even, if you didn't put it on Instagram, like I didn't just now, so it's like, I'm not sure if I went across the sea link. Because if I don't put it on Instagram, like, did it happen?
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah.
यार लेकिन म्यूजिक में भी ना एक चीज जो आजकल बड़ी हो रही है कोलैब्स म्यूजिशियंस तो हमेशा से करते आए हैं फ्रॉम लाइक you're talking about Gwen Stefani but
Yes.
like when you came to India you've done Moose Wala also.
Yeah.
How was that experience like?
So I've been the biggest fan of him forever,
Yeah.
you know, because I love that thug shit, you know. So I'm like, oh, I think my favorite song before I worked with him was Same Beef. Oh, he's Same Beef with him. So I had DM'd him in 2017, 18 when that song came out and said, I love this song, bro. That's it.
That's it.
Okay. Then I don't touch it. I don't know why I never responded to anything else. I just quietly watched him. And then I would say things in my interviews. Oh, my dream collaborations are Sidhu Moose Wala and Drake. And I was like, I want to be on that song with the both of them. But like, I would just say their names. So I was in Goa during the pandemic, like 21, like March, I think, before the second lockdown. And I had Bombay locked down, so I just fucked off to Goa, like we all did.
Nice.
And I rented a house there, and I kind of made a Kumari camp. And I had like my producer and like my dance like choreographer, and like we just had a little camp going.
Kya baat?
So we were living our life, you know. And I get a DM. We're just in the pool, and I just get a DM from Sidhu Moose Wala where he goes and likes the comment from 2017. This man opens my DM in 21, likes the 17 comment, and then goes, "Hey, I'm a huge fan of you.
Wow.
I can find his message. I have the cutest voice notes from him. He's just a sweetie pie." And like, basically, he's like, "Oh, I'm a fan of you. I have a song, but like, you know, I want to send it to you." And I'm thinking, this man is going to send me a gangster record. It's going to be like, dunk, 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 like straight West Coast. And then he sends me this love song. I was not prepared.
Yeah.
Let me see.
So crazy.
Here, see. Here's me being like, Sidhu, Sidhu, because we were supposed to, unfortunately, there's a song on my album that Sidhu was supposed to be on. Because like our deal was verse for verse.
Yeah.
So I did mine happily because, oh my God. And then, you know, waiting for flights, Raja. And so our relationship is really cute because I don't really speak Punjabi. He doesn't really speak English.
Wow.
So like I would like I'd be like, you know, kyunki I could like, main like Punjab aa sakti hoon. And like maybe shayad we could like do the video. What do you think, Sidhu? Like that's how we talk to each other.
Wow.
See, he's so, I miss him. I really miss him. See, song goes hard, brah. Thank you. 2019, 21.
Wow.
I love your vibe. We should work. Same here. I used to listen to that song. Slums one. City Slums.
ये सारा caps में लिखते थे.
He talks in caps, yeah.
क्या बात है?
I like, especially your looks and get-ups. And I was like, I like your looks and get-ups, sir. Sidhu. I like you too. You're amazing. I've never sang in Punjabi. We should do a record. Anyways, so he was working on his album. And then he gave me then he sent it to me. And I think he sent it to me. I recorded it the next day. And he just announced it. This man made his own, I think it's in here. He made his own cover and he just put it out. And I was like, oh, everyone knows me and Sidhu just worked. Like, I'm not even done. Like, I decided to put the second verse. There's a studio right here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been to the studio.
Correct.
This
we
is
do voiceovers there sometimes.
Purple Haze Studio.
Yes, Purple Haze. Yes.
Shout out Raftar. That was a fun era in hip hop to view.
Yeah,
the beef time period.
Yeah.
Because I'm just an observer. Because nobody pulled me into it, thank God.
It was interesting.
I would have been like, you children are not allowed to speak of me. Nobody did, thank you. There was a lot of chances for them too, but nobody brought me into it. They were being kind, so that was nice. I just go wherever my art is the safest and that I'm the most like, you know, like working with someone like Sidhu, working with Raftar and like Shahrul is a good friend too. Yeah, we've made a lot of great music together.
I know. I heard your stuff and like, it's interesting because
I love working with him because he's like the only one that kind of has a similar idea about melody and lyric and production. So it's always a hit song if we're together. Like, we did Konetu and then The Dawn on my album, which I think is a huge record. And now I've made Godmother and I put out HBIC and I have The Bridge incoming. And I actually have the next album ready too. So this is a big year for me where I'm just going to control.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I'm just going to control the flow of music. I don't have the label putting 20 lakhs on marketing anymore. God, when it's your own money, it's horrifying.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I used to make music videos and they'd be like 15 lakhs. I'm like, yeah, 15 lakhs. And then you want me to pay 15 lakhs on my own money. I'm like, what? This is the same money I use for Pani Puri. I can't spend this on a video. I'm like, is there a brand involved? Like, can we get somebody else to pay for this video? But it's okay. I'm just here to do what God asked me to do. I'm too hot to handle for the camera. I'm just making music. And I'm hoping this next year, the team that I've built out of America, like, you know, will get me on the Coachella stage. I come here all the time. I used to walk here because this is where I live. See, now you're on my street. So we're on Perry Road right now, which literally like, because this is when I was coming up. So like nobody really knew me in the beginning, and by the end they were like stopping on the side of the road in the cars because we were on MTV Hustle.
Yeah.
So like I kind of like became famous while living in this area. And I used to walk my dog, Kushwant Kumar Rao.
Oh wow.
That's the first Frenchie.
Heavy name.
The second Frenchie is Love Kumar Rao, because Love
Very
and Kush.
cool. Yeah, super.
But yeah, I used to come down here. I'd get a coconut from this guy, and my favorite thing to eat before they put up this wall is the sweet potato guy.
Oh yes, I know what you're talking about.
Anytime. I mean, I used to come here. What is this? The
Carter's Blue?
What is it they call it? Cow Gully, or what is it?
Cow Gully, yeah.
Is that what they call it? Yeah.
Yeah. Try saying ka. The epiglottis, yeah.
Ka.
Cow Gully.
Cow Gully.
Cow Gully.
I can do it.
Yeah.
Bharatanatyam. I practiced this. My dad was like, you cannot say Satyabhama. Satyabhama.
Bhama.
Bha.
Oh, heavy hoega bhai.
Gagha. Yara Lawa Sasha Saha. I got it. Look at these gang. Look at this gang right here.
Yeah.
Gang. They're
Yeah,
like, they look like they're listening to Emi Wave Bantai right now.
Yes.
Machayenge. That's what they're doing right
Abhi
now.
dikh jayenge. We spoke about this very minutely, but that this persona that you have, like the jewelry
Kumari.
and the Kumari. Wo, apart from Devi, where else like did the fashion?
Madhuri.
Yeah.
I don't know, all that stuff. Madhuri was huge. You know, I think it's just every powerful Indian woman and the vision of what I wanted to see. Like, I think towards like 19, before pandemic, I started dressing like a superhero on stage.
Yeah.
You know, like with the sari and the two cuffs and like the bodysuit.
Correct.
You know, I just started turning myself into an Indian superhero. And then we get Miss Marvel, you know?
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, so like this is what I wanted to see as a child. And we didn't have those things. So I literally became the artist I wanted to see.
Super.
So I think it's based off of all the powerful women characters, but it's also this like projection of myself in the coolest way that I could see.
When you got into the rapping scene, how many women were there?
I could count on one hand.
Exactly, right? Wahi to
You
baat
could
ho
still
rahi hai.
count on one hand almost.
Really?
I mean, now there's like, I did a song with three of the big ones, you know, like Ronnie Cypher. So there's DMC from Bombay, Series from Bangalore, Meba Philia from Shillong. And then, you know, now there's... Shrishti, obviously. But she came from Hustle, season 2. So, you know, there's so much like history that he would even set up that opportunity for her.
Yeah.
Right? So for Shrishti, I'll say this. I think she has a lot of talent. I think she's got this character. I think that there's an open place in the industry that she satisfies. But I, as a musician that's like looking, I wish there were like, I want to like sit her down and do a camp for 6 weeks and just have her make music. Because I think like you get famous on a TV show and like India loves to like make something viral.
Yeah, it blows you.
But when someone has that much talent, for her to even write that, she has a lot of talent.
Yeah.
Right? And to perform it and to be that character, I'm just like I just believe in like longevity and musicality. And you know, I spent 10 years songwriting. So I was like behind the scenes writing songs. So I know the value in like having, keep writing.
That sets you up for the marathon. And you've not had any Mumbai Rain experiences?
Of course I have.
Yeah, so just
I mean, I lived in Perry Road and like, I remember someone going down the street in a canoe.
Oh, what?
Like it was so flooded and there was just a guy in like a canoe and I was like,
what the fuck? In the middle of the day?
It was raining. It was like a crazy monsoon. I only did one monsoon, I feel like, out of all the years.
Yeah?
Yeah, but my shoes suffer every year.
And you don't do vada paws a lot? Like vada pav?
I do vada paws. I love vada. There's a vada pav place right there.
Really?
On the corner when we were coming. And actually last time we went there, I was with my dancer, Pavan, and he was like on a motorcycle and I just felt like going on the motorcycle.
Yeah.
And I was sitting on the back and I was just like on my phone. And then these 3 guys were kind of staring at me because I looked so out of place, right? Like I'm just on the back and then they're like, Raja Kumari? And I was like, oh, hey, yeah, hi. Yeah, I'll 2 vada paos. Yes. And I'm just like on the back, like eating the vada pao, like,
yeah.
I love it.
This is perfect. How do you like this?
How do I like what? This?
This whole thing
This
that we
was
did.
fun.
Fun, no?
Yeah.
Good stuff.
And yours, you know, I just love, it's nice. I'm happy to be able to talk about my love for Bombay.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people can't understand how someone from LA would leave everything, but if you saw Bombay through my eyes, then you would leave too. You would leave LA and be here because it's like beautiful to be amongst your own people.
I love it. It's a beautiful place. Do tell us what your favorite part was. हमें बताओ क्या अच्छा लगा, क्या इनके गाने कौन से पसंद हैं. So thank you so much. This is Sid signing off the Bombay Journey.